Hey, I'm James Wallace. Welcome to the Durham Music Theory Club. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and where I'm at in the hopes that maybe you can figure out if this is the right place for you to learn some stuff about music. I'm a professional musician. I've been playing in bands around the Triangle area, North Carolina, for about 15 years. And I feel like I've reached a midlife crisis of sorts. I would say the core issue that I'm struggling with at this point is just that I wish I was better at music than I am. I feel like I've spent a long time being a side person in other people's bands and learning tons of music every week to keep up with gigs and stuff, and the end result is like that I haven't actually gotten much better over the course of the time that I've been playing music, and I feel really frustrated with where I'm at. And all of that was starting to manifest itself in like physical symptoms and performance anxiety, stuff like that. So I would, like if I went out and played on the road, or we played 10 nights in a row, I would get pain, lots of pain in my like right shoulder, and sometimes it would kind of spread down my right side into my leg. It would just feel tight and just I felt like there was a lot of tension in my playing and a lot of tension in my body. And I also just felt kind of stressed out by the whole experience. I feel like I had what I would call a normal amount of performance anxiety. And, mostly I dealt with that by like having a beer or two before going on stage. And at some point I realized the whole thing was just causing me a lot of dread and anxiety, and I wasn't feeling good about myself, about my playing, about the music I was playing. Like none of it felt very good. And I just want to get back to a place where I'm excited to play music. I love playing music. I want to find that love again and just be excited to get on stage and not need to have a beer to do it. Just be stoked to go play music again. So in order to get to a place where I feel like that's a reality, I have made a lot of space in my life so that I can do some practicing and just work on myself and feel better about playing, feel better about myself. So I've been saying no to basically every gig that comes along. And I teach piano lessons. That's how I make my regular money. So I have about, 10 students or so. And luckily I don't have to make very much money because my wife has a great job and she's able to support our family. So I stay at home with my 2.5-year-old daughter. She goes to preschool in the mornings and takes a nap in the afternoon, so I end up with a good amount of time to work on stuff. So I'm stoked to get started and do something. My basic plan is simple. I'm going to start over learning the piano using these books that I use to teach my kids, the Faber and Faber Piano Adventures series. So I'm just going to start at level 1. I'm going to try to play effortlessly. And I'm going to play every single song in all 12 keys. And the reason for that is that it does, putting songs in all 12 keys does a number of things for you. One is it helps your hands, your fingers, have the ability to play in any key. Every key, because of the patterns of sharps and flats, has different technical issues that you have to solve. And so playing in all 12 keys forces you to solve those issues, and your fingers become just more comfortable on the piano in general. You can just do more stuff and do it easier, more effortlessly. So that's one thing, is just technically it helps you. Number 2 is your ear. Playing in all 12 keys puts the intervals and the melodies and the chords and everything more deeply into your ear, so that music just becomes, when you hear something, you know exactly what it is. You can just instantly pick things up, because as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, I know just what that is, because you've spent time in every key having this interval, you hear it over and over again in all these different contexts, and your brain, as its supercomputer self, just takes all that information, and then you're able to compute things much quicker. And you also can memorize music a lot faster. It's the same idea. It's like when you force yourself to play in every key, your brain is dealing with all this. There's so much information. It's like an information overload. And so then what happens is your brain starts to devote more resources to the problem of playing music. And when you get those extra resources, you become the supercomputer, and learning music becomes super easy. You can memorize things easily. Like, there's just no effort involved in learning music or playing it. So I strongly believe that playing things in all 12 keys is the way that I will be able to achieve the effortlessness, the mastery that I'm looking for. So I'm going to use the Faber and Faber books. I'm going to start at the beginning, level 1, and we're going to go through and play everything in all 12 keys. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of patience, but I'm excited. I think as you start doing it, it'll start to go faster, and you'll just, your brain will devote more resources to the task at hand, and you will find the whole thing to be not as difficult as you think it is at the beginning. So I'm going to make a series of videos about each key that are just reference videos, about intervals and chords and all the things you need to know, just sort of the basics of music theory, the building blocks of everything. So I'm going to start doing that, and those will be up. And then once I feel like I've gotten enough of the building block stuff out of the way, I'm going to start with the first level 1 Faber and Faber Piano Adventures book. So I hope that you get something out of this, and you can follow along with my progress and see how it goes for me. All right.